What up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing a forecast for July 2019 for all the signs. This is for all of us as a collective, what the energy, the cosmic weather is like for the entire month of July. And there is actually a lot going on. We do have 2 eclipses, and you guys know eclipses can rock your world, okay? They are times when we see huge life events, big changes and shifts. And I know there's a lot of spiritualists out there that'll say every day is a big huge change and shift, but I'm not one of those. I will only tell you when it's legit, and this is legit, okay? The month of July. And also we have Mercury retrograde in the signs of Leo and Cancer the entire month, so that'll be affecting us all as well. Speaking of, I do still have readings on sale. I have a special on if you want to know how the last half of 2019 is going to affect you personally based on your birth chart. That means the eclipses in July, Mercury retrograde in July. There's also Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in the fall, and then there's 2 more eclipses in the winter in December, and anything else that might be significantly hitting your actual birth chart. I cover in this reading. It's only $55, and it's only available on sale through July 1st. I may extend it if there's a demand for it, but it's only through July 1st that I'm offering it, so I can make sure you guys actually get the stuff that's in July covered in that reading in a timely manner. And also I do have eclipse readings too. They're only $25 each to see how each eclipse will affect you personally and rock your world, and to see what big changes they're going to bring to you this summer. And I do have love and romance readings on sale too through July 15th. The eclipse readings are available through July 15th as well. Love and romance readings are for singles. If you want to know what your chart says about you and who you attract and why, and the timing of when you might meet somebody next or be in a serious relationship, or have, the timing when your dating life will be more poppin'. That's what the love and romance readings are. So those are on sale right now too on my website, which is indigomoon.astrology.com. And I do have links below for all of those. So with that being said, also July horoscopes for each sign. I will have those available as well as 2020 horoscopes. I will have those for all the signs in July. So if you want to know how the year 2020 is going to go for you and be ahead of the game, they will be available in July also. So stay on the lookout for those on the horoscopes page on my website. Okay, so July 2019, what's poppin' for all of us? Well, as I mentioned, we do have an eclipse in the sign of Cancer. And this is a new moon eclipse. That means the sun and the moon come together in the sign of Cancer. So this happens actually on July 2nd. It is the sun and moon together in Cancer. And remember, I'm based off of Pacific time in the US of A. So this is like early afternoon Pacific time, probably later afternoon, mid-afternoon in the East Coast. And if you're in the eastern part of the world, it's in the evening, or maybe it could count as July 3rd. So this is in the sign of Cancer. Now, I did do a whole entire long video on the eclipses in July, so go check that out. And I did cover each sign for a general forecast, but remember, I offer personalized forecasts because the generals will just give general, like obviously, right? But the personal ones will see how things angle planets in your own chart. So, that's why they're more significant. But to find out how it affects your sign, your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, generally, go check out my eclipse video. But we do have that eclipse on July 2nd. So it's like we start off the month with a bang, okay? With this is the sun and moon together in Cancer. So I guess generally speaking, it is opposing Saturn. It's like a wide opposition, but it's still an opposition. And it is making a wide trine, which is a positive aspect to Neptune, the planet of magic, escapism, art, being sensitive and intuitive. That's Neptune. And Saturn is Big Daddy Saturn. He could be Grumpy Grandpa Saturn too, which is, he has the energy of a disciplinarian, authoritarian, implementing the rules and all of that. Making a wide opposition to this eclipse. So what does that mean for us? Well, first of all, an eclipse in Cancer in general deals with family, matters of home, your emotional states, your emotional well-being. comfort and security, your roots or your family history, and memories of the past that you may hold on to, and people that are the closest to you that you hold on to nearly and dearly. Those people, like it's the crab, which has a shell, and the shell doesn't only just protect the crab itself from the outside world. When we're talking about the energy of Cancer, we're talking about like your shell could be your home. Your shell can also include the people that you love and you trust, that you feel like they protect you. You surround yourself with them, and they would attack, as well. If anybody tries to cross you in the wrong way. So we may be looking at who do we have the most personal, close, emotional relationships with, who's there for us and who's not, and cutting some people out. If we feel like they're only around us because they want something or need something from us, and if we're very generous and kind enough to give, and we're not really receiving a lot of reciprocation, well, this is what an eclipse in Cancer could make us do. Generally speaking, is like the cutoff game will be very strong with this. Okay, deleting people off of social media, even, and also in real life, maybe hiding out a little bit more in our shells too, to just kind of, I don't know, retreat and think about some stuff. It could trigger that. Now, the opposition to Saturn can mean that with this eclipse, we may see things as being a little bit more difficult than they really are. We could be worrywarts. We can see things as a big, huge challenge, even though, like, we can look at situations like they're this big, giant, tall mountain, like Mount Everest or something, when it's really just like a little hill we need to climb. We can kind of slip into that with an opposition to Saturn. But this can also make us look at responsibility and authority, career. This is the axis of home and career, Cancer and Capricorn. So there could be some things that come up to where we have to decide between like emotional security, comfort, and home, and career and responsibilities out there in the big bad world. But then the aspect to Neptune could be something to do with just believing in things, believing in things spiritually speaking. Like, you just have faith and belief and trust that it'll happen. Even if you can't see it, you can't feel it, touch it, it's not tangible, it can still happen. So that's the eclipse in Cancer. This is on July 2nd. Once again, if you want to know how it affects you, watch my eclipse video, or you can check out July videos for your sign that I will also have up, or you can get a personal reading for that eclipse too. Okay, so also on the 2nd, this is when Mars moves into the sign of Leo. You see it's at 0 degrees of Leo, just stepping into Leo. And it comes into a conjunction with Mercury right away. And it does make a square aspect to Uranus right away. Mars and Leo, Mars and Leo is very playful, fun, and affectionate. I love Mars and Leo people. Oh my gosh. My youngest son has Mars at 0 degrees of Leo. So actually, he will be having little temper tantrums that day, and I'll have to keep him in check. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, besides that, Mars and Leo is such an affectionate, fun energy. It's playful. I love it. And this is going to be in the air. Now, Mars and Leo could be very competitive, though. Like mad competitive. So this is just what's in the air. Like, we could be kind of strutting around like, yes, I am the shit, I am the best, look at my hair, and do hair flips and be strutting like we have RuPaul's song in our head, you better work, or like a Rihanna song, or like some diva-licious song in our head all the time. That's how we're moving. Mars is our movement and actions that we take. We will be more bold with our actions. We'll be more confident in our actions. But also, Mars and Leo, it requires a lot of applause and attention for what they do, and it can kind of pout if it doesn't get it. So some of us can kind of feel that way about the actions that we take. We want applause. We want recognition. We want people to notice us when we walk in the room, or if we do something cool. Mars and Leo's energy is great for physical activity because it's fire energy. So it's great for sports. It's great for dancing, especially. Oh my gosh, you guys know I love dance. I used to be heavily into dance. I'm kind of still into it myself, as far as doing it myself, but also like I know a lot of dancers, and oh my God, Mars and Leo the energy is so dope for dancing because you're confident in your movements. And Mars and Leo is entertainment. It rules entertainment. So you're moving around in entertaining ways and being very animated and stuff. So a lot of people will be acting like this. Some people could be very competitive though, like super competitive in an annoying way with Mars being in Leo. And then it's in a conjunction with Mercury, which is our communication and speech. Oh, some people will act like they have a megaphone for a mouth, okay, just announcing everything, even TMI stuff, because they want attention. Attention seeking will be on high, most def, with Mercury and Mars together. Mercury is speech, and Mars could be aggression and anger. So some people may be very boastful and bragging like aggressively towards one another. So that's something to watch out for. Now, there is a square to Uranus. So I don't like to see Mars and Uranus square each other, because Mars is movement. Mercury also. Mercury is what you do with your hands and it's traveling short distances. Mars is movement. So I can see with this aspect, Uranus is sudden, unexpected things happening. There is a higher chance of being a little too bold and confident in your moves and being injured, or maybe driving and, getting in accidents and stuff like that. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. I'm not a negative person. I'm just honest and real. I keep it 100 around here. You guys know that. So be careful around the beginning of July with driving and stuff. Actually, the first half of July, because Mercury is going to start slowing down. It's going to remain in a conjunction with Mars for like the first 15 days or so, and that square to Uranus. So there's a higher chance, a higher increase in the chances of like accidents and injuries and stuff from thinking that hey, I got this, and being a little too confident. And yeah, people can be speaking in ways that are just like, they suddenly say things out of the blue, and it's speaking things that are like harsh a little bit, or like, I'm better than you, and just kind of out of the blue saying like crazy stuff with this aspect too. So on the 3rd, we have Venus moving into Cancer. And I love Venus in Cancer. Let me tell you something. Venus, yeah, here it is, 0 degrees of Cancer. So Venus steps into Cancer on July 3rd. If there's any planet that I love being in the sign of Cancer, it's Venus. Because it's just so loving, so warm, so caring, just loves on people. One of the best relationships I had with someone, they had a Leo stellium, but they had Venus in Cancer, and they were very affectionate and just like treated me like a princess whenever I was with them. They could be a little bit of an a-hole sometimes because of the Leo stuff, but it was just the right amount of a-hole to where they were like very masculine, but then they had this Venus in Cancer that just loves feminine energy and just treats feminine beings with respect and is very lovey, very lovey-dovey. Love this energy. So we're going to be feeling this as a collective, Venus and Cancer. So Venus does rule what we love in life. That could be people, that could be material things, that could be things that make us happy, our interests, we can see that through Venus. So with it being in Cancer, we're going to be more interested in hanging out with family and enjoying some good food, being comfortable and secure as Venus in Cancer. We're going to be saying "aw" a lot when we see babies and puppies and kitties, like just super sensitive, lovey-dovey energy, Venus in Cancer. So Venus is going to be in Cancer starting on the 3rd until the 27th of July. So only for a few weeks do we get her in Cancer. So people may be wanting to spend more time with their mothers or maternal figures in their lives, or just female relatives or significant feminine beings in their lives. They're going to be like super lovey-dovey. This could be a very clingy energy though. Like people just, I don't want you to leave, and I just want to, cling on to you, or you to cling on to me, like, and just, it's kind of like the Animaniacs. I don't know if you guys are old enough, anybody listening, to remember that cartoon, but Elmira, how she would find like a cute animal and just be like, I want to hug you and squeeze you and love you, and like that's what Venus in Cancer reminds me of. So yeah, and yes, Mama is the queen of the universe to everybody when Venus is in Cancer. Okay, their mamas are the goddesses of the world, and you can't say nothing about Mama when Venus is in Cancer. Okay, so then on the 7th, this is when Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Leo. So I think I made a little mistake when I posted something on my Instagram stories, so my bad. But Mercury is here, 4 degrees of Leo, and then it goes retrograde at this degree, and it is conjunct Mars, still square Uranus. So definitely, because Mercury is going to be retrograde, it's going to be in its shadow period first. So things could still be a little wonky with mercurial things like texting, typing, making plans, any type of communication, driving, receiving mail, receiving correspondence from others. Like all that Mercury stuff is still shaky when it's in shadow period. Then it goes retrograde, like fully starts moving backwards in orbit on the 7th, and then it's conjunct Mars and square Uranus. Let me tell you guys, please be safe out there driving. This is the summertime where I'm at. A lot of people, they start traveling for leisure and going on vacations and stuff. So if you do, please be extra cautious when you're driving, I'm telling you. But yeah, it goes retrograde here at 4 degrees of Leo. So it'll continue to move back. So wherever Leo is in your chart, you're going to have to step it up with probably redoing stuff before you get it right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's going to be retrograde here in the sign of Leo for like the next couple of weeks, starting on the 7th. Now, on the 9th, this is when we have the sun in an opposition to Saturn. The sun is here at 17 degrees of Cancer. Saturn is here at 17 degrees of Capricorn. So they're going to be exactly opposing one another on that day. So it can be a little tough. Cancer energy could be very worrywart, and so can Capricorn. Capricorn can fear the worst that can happen and just see the consequences so clearly that like that's all they see is the consequences of things, and not like have hope and faith, and you know, it's just like, no, just straight up the worst can happen, so we better not take a risk. That's how Capricorn can be a lot of times. And Cancer energy could be like, oh my god, the big bad world outside my shell, I don't know if I want to do this. So a lot of people may be feeling this. I know, I always make that impression for Cancers are so sensitive that when I hear them in my head, I hear them all talking like that, like, but what about me? So and you know, I tease Cancers a lot because I have a lot of you guys extremely close to me, and I attract Cancers like bees to honey. So you guys do kind of think like that in that little voice, don't you? Don't deny it. Anyway, yeah, so this can have us all just kind of being a little more worrisome, a little more pessimistic, hard to see that us making it through things. So, you know, just be aware that this energy can do that at times. It can make it so that we may think things are so much more difficult than they really are, and can be kind of emotionally over dramatic about stuff. Sun opposing Saturn, though, Saturn anchors down. So this could be like anchoring us down into not taking too many risks, and yeah, like doing things that are too risky. It'll make sure that we don't do that. So yeah, that's the Sun opposing Saturn on the 9th. It's a good day to like sit down and just do some things, complete some things, get some things done business wise, or tasks or chores around the house, especially because Cancer deals with the home. But we can be a little bit, you know, on the pessimistic side on that day. But it does help us to see reality and to see consequences if necessary. Okay. Now on the 11th, the sun makes a trine aspect to Neptune, and also Mars is square Uranus exactly on the 11th. Let's move ahead. Yeah, so we have, yeah, the sun trine Neptune. It's probably like super early Pacific time that happens. Probably like, yeah, like super like mad early in the morning, but it'll continue throughout the day. Yeah, so the sun in a good aspect to Neptune. This is dreamer energy. This is sensitivity. We may be a little more sensitive on that day, more empathic, having empathy for other living beings, not just humans, but, you know, animals and plants and bugs too. We will be feeling like, oh, I don't want to hurt them. I just want to love everything and everyone. So, and, you know, the sun trine Neptune does keep us very much in tune with spirituality and music and art and stuff, but it makes us highly intuitive. Intuitions will be on high, on point that day. Okay. And the moon is in Scorpio. There will be a grand water trine on this day. I'll cover that more in the weeklies, but yeah, the 11th can be a very magical day, like to just be very in tune with your emotions. But what I don't really dig is this, the Mars and Uranus square. It's going to be exact on that day. So once again, Mars is movements and actions, and Uranus is sudden, unexpected things happening. So this could be a day there could be like a sudden like accident or something, or an injury, you know, even something stupid. Like today, as I'm recording this, the moon is in a conjunction with Uranus, and I dropped a box of candy, and it was out of the blue all of a sudden. Like I was a little bit clumsy, you know, and the stuff just flew everywhere, and it was annoying. Little things like that can happen with Uranus squares or harsh aspects. So don't think it's always going to be like you're going to get in an accident and die. You know, it's not always that, but just be more cautious. This is good for actually movements that are creative and coming up with like genius ideas to move around creatively in different ways that you never have before. So yeah, if you are like a dancer or just dance for fun, or you know, do something, create any type of creative physical movements, you will come up with some really great ideas and think outside the box with stuff like that. Okay, so the sun will oppose Pluto on the 13th. This is energy that can make us a little bit more paranoid than usual, a little bit more paranoid, a little bit more fearful, fear of the unknown, wanting to cover the unknown too. This is an energy where secrets can come to light because the sun illuminates, right? Pluto is things that are hidden beneath the surface. So there can be some things that are hidden that come to light around this day, around July 13th. But yeah, it can make us a little more paranoid, more aware of the darker side of life, a little too aware to where it scares the crap out of us. And we're just like living in fear, like, oh my God, I don't want this to happen. You know, this is very intense. This can be very emotionally intense. This could be a tug of war between yourself and others. Power struggles can happen because the sun can rule our own personal power and ego, and then Pluto is like hidden power, and it's in Capricorn, which rules authority. So there could be some power struggles, especially between yourself and other male figures, or masculine people, and even people who are gender wise and genitalia wise born as female can embody masculine energy. So, you know, just if you there just could be some power struggles on this day. Okay, just trust and believe that. But what this can do is give you a lot more personal willpower to push through things, to get through obstacles that are in your way, if necessary, and just kind of see things with tunnel vision and push through. And, you know, if anybody gets in my way, they'll die. And just, yeah, see things through the very end, like have this piercing stare towards a goal, or, you know, somewhere that you want to get, and only see that, you know, with and get there with precision, like an arrow shooting with precision. Sorry. That's what can go on with this energy too. But yeah, it can cause a lot of fears and stuff like that, unfortunately. But it can illuminate some secrets. Secrets can come to light. Okay, so on the 16th, this is when we have the full moon eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. So it is the moon in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer. That's what makes a full moon, is the opposition between the sun and moon in opposite signs. So once again, I covered the eclipses in this special eclipse video. I cover them in depth and detail, and I go over each sign, generally how it affects you, how it affects us as a collective, and I also have eclipse readings personal to you. So more shameless plugs, but hey, your girl's gotta make a living, okay? So anyway, full moon eclipse, Cancer Capricorn axis. It could be in general something to do with your inner world and your outer world, your private life and your public life, your home life and your career. There's a back and forth, and it is in a conjunction with Pluto. So there's some very profound transformation going on here with this eclipse, and it's in a conjunction with Saturn. So that's about like building and structuring things in your life, and being in it for the long haul, and making sure that the foundation is set for the long haul. That's what this energy can entail. So we may all have something like that going on this day. On the eclipse day on the 16th. The eclipse is actually at 24 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn. Yeah. So it's going to be like in the afternoon, West Coast US time. But yeah, this eclipse is going, the effects of eclipses can last up to 6 months after the day that it happens. And you can see the effects up to like a month before as well. So if you don't have anything just pop up and bing and your whole world changes and flips upside down on the day of the eclipse, don't worry. Okay, you will see the changes occur over the next 6 months. It's just initiated on this day. So on the 18th, this is when Venus makes a trine to Neptune. This is a very, subtle aspect. It's beautiful. Let's see, Venus trine Neptune. Yeah, this is beautiful for love, romance, creativity, escapism, imagination, fantasy. It's good for all of that stuff. Being very sensitive, very empathic, tuning into others' needs and wants and giving into them with whatever it is that they want. Wanting to take care of people, being a savior. That's what this can rule. On the 19th, this is when we have Mercury going retrograde. It goes back into the sign of Cancer. It did start moving retrograde on the 7th, but here on the 19th is when it slips back into Cancer out of the sign of Leo. So it comes close to the sun. It's away from Mars now, but yeah, Mercury retrograde back into Cancer. So the last time that Mercury was at this degree in Cancer was at the very end of June, the last few days of June, like June 25th, like the last week of June, let's just say. So whatever was going on the last week of June will be like revisited around the 19th, the 20th, 21st, like those days. So just keep that in mind. I'm recording this during that time period, of the last few days of June. And yeah, so whatever's going on, you can revisit that, look at it from a different perspective. Oh, aha, you know what? I didn't see this that way before back then. So wherever the sign of Cancer is in your natal chart, that's where you can have some serious review going on. As with all Mercury retrograde, precautions and stuff, protect your devices, protect your vehicles and whatever you use to travel short distances. Just be keenly aware that Mercury is communication and correspondence and movement and travel. So some of those things could be going a little bit haywire. And in the sign of Leo, wherever Leo is in your chart, and then back to wherever Cancer is in your chart, starting on the 19th. So on the 21st, Venus opposes Pluto. And that could be kind of out, like all this stuff I will go over in the weeklies as well. But yeah, Venus will oppose Pluto. And that could be some power struggles in love and relationships and with money. That can happen around that day. But there could be also like some obsession going on here. You could be totally obsessed with like a person or a goal or something. Sometimes Venus opposing Pluto can bring out some control, some manipulation, some jealousy and possessiveness. It can bring that out, just a fair warning. So on the 18th, though, Venus comes into a trine aspect with Neptune, which is being in fantasy land. No. I already talked about that. Sorry. The 21st. Okay. So the 21st, Venus opposite Pluto. Okay. Moving along. Sorry. Mercury in shadow in full effect. The sun goes into the sign of Leo on the 22nd. So it's like probably later in the day. Move this up a degree, 29 degrees of Cancer. So we want to see 0 degrees of Leo for the sun here. Okay, so the sun going into Leo. Okay, so it's like in the evening, West Coast US time. It's probably the 23rd on the East Coast and in the eastern parts of the world. The sun goes into Leo. So it steps into the sign of Leo. It's golden, beautiful, glowing energy because the sun rules the sign of Leo. It's at home in Leo. So it's like, aha, yes, the king is here. Everyone worship me and tell me how fabulous my hair looks. Oh, yes. And I'm wearing lots of gold. Do you see it shining? Yes, haha. Like that's how the sun in Leo can act. So a lot of us as a collective may be feeling this, feeling more confident in ourselves. It can be very competitive, masculine energy. The sun and Mars, the two most masculine planets in a fiery masculine sign. So there's a lot of competition around, though. with this energy. But you know that competition can motivate you to do a lot better in whatever it is that you do, especially creative stuff, especially sports, you know, which Leo is involved in, stuff like that. Leo energy is about showing off. So a lot of people are going to be showing off a lot more, like wearing the sunglasses to the club, you know what I'm saying? Maybe wearing a little bit less, showing off parts of the body that Leo rules, which is their hair, or wearing backless stuff, like to show off your back, and just wearing that bronzy, glowy stuff like that Rihanna's, what is it called? That dewy skin, glowing girl, people, I don't even remember what it's called, but that Fenty stuff that's like, you know, you put it on your skin and it makes it glow. There's little speckles of sparkles and stuff. That's all Leo stuff all day. Wearing more leopard print, animal print, being very flashy and dramatic and entertaining and affectionate, and I just love Leo energy. So we're all going to be blessed with that Leo energy. The sun is going to be in Leo until August 23rd, and it enters here on the 22nd of July. So the sun is like a big flashlight. So wherever it transits, wherever Leo is in your chart, it's going to light that area up. You're going to see things a lot more clearly in that area of life, whether good or bad. Okay. So on the 25th, this is when Mercury is retrograde and back in the sign of Cancer, but it comes into a conjunction with Venus. So for some people, they're going to feel a lot like more nostalgic around the 25th, singing Michael Jackson, "Remember the time when we first met." Yeah, people are going to be singing that. Okay, and they're going to be calling them exes. Mercury retrograde already does that. Okay, number one. Number two, when it's in Cancer, it's very sentimental. It's all about the memories and the past and hanging on and being super emo and not being able to let go. Like, that's Mercury retro in Cancer all day by itself. Then conjunct Venus, which is love, warm feelings, romantic feelings. People are going to be really feeling it and maybe not be able to help themselves or control it. They're going to be longing for their exes and longing for the past and calling those people. It doesn't always have to be exes, though. It could be like friends that you had in the past, old neighbors, and relatives you haven't seen in a long time, or maybe you're not really trying to reach out to people, but maybe you're looking through scrapbooks and photo albums and online photos, like from back in the MySpace days when you used to hang out with a bunch of certain people, and I miss those days, I miss those times. Like, it's super nostalgic, this energy. But yes, beware of the exes this whole entire month of July trying to come back. But this day in particular, the energy is super strong in the air, which is the 25th of July. And also on this day, this is when Mars is in a trine aspect to Jupiter. So Mars and Jupiter are both in fire signs, in Leo and Sag, and they're both at 14 degrees of their signs. So Mars trine Jupiter, this is a positive aspect, and this is like really believing in your actions, like really just reaching for it. So a lot of people, with the whole exes thing and reaching out to them, remembering them, having memories and feelings come up, this Mars trine Leo may be like giving them the power to say, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to show up at their work or their house or, whatever, and just show them that, like, I want to be with them. I want this to work. I miss them, So some people may be really tapping into it that way, but otherwise, Mars trine Jupiter in fire signs, this is good for sports and recreation, activities that require a lot of physical movement, dance, anything competitive that's physical, and just believing in your actions and saying, I'm just gonna go for it. It's very daring energy, very daredevil, and just going for it, just saying F it, let's just do it. It's party energy too. Love it. Okay, so the 27th is when Venus goes into the sign of Leo. Venus goes into Leo on the 27th. Yep, here she is, 0 degrees of Leo, stepping in, joining the sun. More golden, bronzy, J-Lo looking, type of energy. J-Lo, I swear J-Lo is like the epitome of Leo. Okay, she is like always got that glow. Remember, she had that perfume called J-Lo Glow. Oh my God, when that perfume came out, I was working in a department store in their perfume and cosmetics department, and it was such a popular fragrance at that time. And I actually got sick of it because I smelled it every day because people were just spraying it, the little samples of it and stuff all day. And I was like, oh my God, I can't stand this perfume. I used to love it. Now I hate it. But anyway, J-Lo is the ultimate Leo. She's glowing, bronzy. She always has her hair a lighter color. That's totally Leo. Fashion and styles that are popular when Venus is in Leo. Once again, the animal print, gold, colors of gold, white, yellow, like the sun, sunflowers, like wearing sunflower patterns on your clothes, or anything with sunflowers. Wearing a cat eye and a bold red lipstick, red heels, you know, gold shoes, gold anything is Leo. Anything that looks like flashy, wearing sunglasses and walk into a room like, oh, I don't see any of you guys, but you all see me and I'm blinding all of you. Yes, I know. Like being super confident, wearing heels and shoes that are loud. Oh my gosh, I used to work with a Venus and Leo chick, and she wore flip-flops every day, but them damn flip-flops were so loud. Flip, flap, flap, flap. Like, Leos always have to let you know that they're in the house, that they're present, that they're here, and they'll be super loud about it no matter what kind of shoes they wear. I worked with another one, and she would wear these steel-toe boots, these like Harley Davidson boots, and stomp. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I know that you're here, woman. Like, why do you have to make a big deal? You want people to hear you so they could be like, oh, there's so-and-so, hey, and get attention. I get it, okay? So anyway, we may be all, as a collective, tapping into that a little bit more, letting our presence be known. And I swear to you, when we have Venus, the Sun, and Mars all in Leo, we're going to be strutting around like we have a very fierce, divalicious song in our heads. Once again, this Venus stepping in is going to bring even more of that. You better work, Venus and Leo, work it, girl. Okay, so Venus will be in Leo starting on July 27th through August 21st. Okay, so we do end the month with Mercury moving direct in the sign of Cancer, and this is on the 31st, the very last day of the month. Mercury moves direct in the sign of Cancer, so it comes out of its retrograde. Where's it at? Yeah, Mercury comes out of retrograde, so it's no longer red. If something is red, like on this website, that means it's retrograde. So it's no longer retrograde, but we will have the shadow period until the second week of August, until Mercury moves past the degree in which it went retrograde, which was what? Once again, it was 4 degrees of Leo. So once Mercury moves past 4 degrees of Leo, let's look at our ephemeris here and see what day that is. 4 degrees of Leo. Sorry if that makes you guys dizzy. But let's see, Mercury. Yeah, so let's say like the 16th of August. That's when you can count Mercury as being out of its shadow period. So it's gone over this part of Leo. This is the third and final time, and then it'll start to move forward out of the retrograde zone. Okay, so on the 31st, last day of the month, it moves forward. And yes, things can start proceeding forward. It doesn't mean that things are going to, like, with a snap of a finger, you're not going to have any more technical issues or communication issues or driving issues. Nah, they're still going to continue until after the second week of August. They will, but they'll just be trickling off and fading off and phasing out. You can still start to proceed with things, but I wouldn't hop right into anything right away on the 31st. People will post stuff all day that day and be like, yay, hurrah, Mercury is out of retrograde. Yeah, but it's still in shadow, so like, don't do anything stupid. Okay, think about your decisions and your words first. Okay, so that's the month of July for you guys. The general horoscope for all of us, what we will be experiencing. So don't forget, links will be below for my website, for everything that I provide to you guys as far as guidance personally in your own charts, readings. Remember, I have the eclipse readings. I have love and romance readings the last half of 2019 that covers at least, like, you know, the last half of the year, what everything's going to be doing for you. I will have readings for each sign for July. I will have readings for each sign for 2020. I've got some things coming up, so make sure you stay posted to this video and to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on Instagram under Cosmic Homegirl, because I do post some horoscope stuff on there from time to time too. I'm also on Twitter, kind of, sorta. I'm also on Instant Go, where you can message me on that app and I can text you readings. They're very cheap. They're much cheaper than my recorded readings, and you get them a lot faster than recorded readings too. You get them within a few days. So I'm on Instant Go, as well as, you know, my website, which is indigomoonAstrology.com. So don't forget, I also have a class that I teach the very basics of the language of astrology. If you weren't able to catch it live, it's all good. The replay is still available, so that's also on my website too, if you want to learn a little bit more about astrology and how to understand it on your own. I put things in layman's terms a lot, even though I could be like mad nerdy and stuff, but I make it as easy to understand as possible. At least I try. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the weekly videos, and thank you so much. Have a fabulous month of July. All right, peace.